From the YBA Phoenix Fitness 24/7 basketball facility in Rockland, California, it's Coach's Rise time with Coach C. Collins.
It is start 3, 2, 1.
Coach's Rise time.
Yep, I'm here. It's Coach C. Collins talking Coach's Rise time. Where we talk a little bit of basketball, life, things in between, give you my perspective on AAU basketball. Obviously, if you're here, you might know the main show, which is About That Life podcast, which, again, if you're a supporter there, I appreciate it. If you're here and you're checking it out for the first time, thank you for being here. Please go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, do the HBO special, help a brother out. It's really appreciated. It helps me out with the algorithm, and I can give you guys more and more good content. Now on to the show. Let's talk about the Adidas circuit. Just got done doing Adidas 3SB. And I'm going to give you guys my perception, of my takes on it, especially in comparison to doing the UA Rize and UAA, what it looks like, how, it works, what can maybe work for you as a coach, maybe what can't. And if it helps you out, please take my tips, take my notes, and I hope it all works out for you. So straight off the bat, as far as schools being there, yes, at the Rock Hill, South Carolina 3SB event for that live period, schools are there. We're talking about 125 plus Division I college coaches in that arena. If you go on my IG, and of course my links are always to everything's in the description. You can hit me up on IG. I will return your messages. I'm not above that. I'm not famous or anything like that by any means. But if I can give you guys some tips and some help, hit me up. No, it's real. It's legit. I mean, Duke was there, Syracuse, Cal, UCLA, USC. I mean, if you think of some Division I's, mid-tier to high-tier, they were there. I'd say, you're not going to see a lot of JUCOs there. You're not going to see a lot of Division IIIs. I think, again, I could be wrong, but I get the interpretation that most of those colleges are more realistic and know that they're most likely not going to get those kids. So, they're shooting for the kids that they know they can get. What I will say, what I do like on the 3SB, what I wish they would do on the goal side, but I get it. I guess maybe they can't because of cost and things like that. I don't know the logistics, but this is just what I could say I saw. With the UA Rize, and if you guys look at my docuseries, you'll see that. It was 3 officials every game, shot clock, and it was 4 quarters. With 3SB, it was 3 officials, shot clock, 2 halves. And I like 4 quarters, personally, me. And they didn't do that on the gold side. On the gold side, it was 2, I believe, 16-minute half stop clock with 2 official crews. No shot clock. And I'm sorry, at high school level, there needs to be a shot clock. It just has to be. I know there's extra cost to that, because you got to have a scorekeeper who's keeping track of the score and the books and the scores on the scores on the scoreboard and the stats and things like that. And you need a separate person for just the shot clock and stats. But dude, just spend the extra money. If you guys really got to put the cost to the consumer, put the cost on us. You know what I mean? Like, charge an extra $25-$50 to get those. And because it should be the same as the gold side and the 3SB side. Adidas, if you ever listen to this, or my guys at the Compton Magic who help run the Adidas side, if this video or podcast ever gets to you guys, that's my tip for you. You need to have the same experience on the gold side that you would have on the 3SB side. We get the locations are different, the levels different. I get it, but you don't want a lesser than product. Shout out to Coach Barnes from Bakersfield. He was talking about this on his live, how like the UA Rize, it might be a couple diamonds out there in the rough, but overall those guys are guys that are basically going to go JC or, NAI maybe or something like that. And the UAA, the Under Armour, the association, right? Those are the main guys that are ready for collegiate level. Adidas, I'll say, in my opinion, the talent level is more distributed. With EYBL, I think it's top heavy. I think you have the top 10 teams, 11 teams, 12 teams, because I roughly might be 30 to 40 teams in there. And those top 10 teams are so leaps and bounds above everyone else that basically it's just the top 10 teams competing with each other. And you basically have the rest of the teams that are there, but they're not really going to get a strong shot at winning it because they just don't have the firepower. Maybe you get a George Mason situation, where this random team in the UIB out of nowhere makes it happen, or EYCL, but it just seems unlikely. But Adidas, I will say the talented pool is more distributed, so it is more feel like an even playing field. The biggest thing I want to say and note too is California teams have lost their grit. Like, we're not, and I'm watching the circuit. I'm watching Jalen Green Elite. I'm watching Team Lillard, Team California, Compton Magic, all of us. Like, I don't believe any of the California teams made it to the Final Four or maybe the Elite Eight, but we don't have our grit like we used to. Utah Prospects won it all. Shout out to them. Congratulations to them. And my team even played against Utah Gold, had a chance to meet them. I have a video, if you guys check my IG, I have a couple of videos going viral right now. One in particular where I was speaking about after playing the Utah Gold and what happened there. I know my kids probably felt some type of way, like, Coach, you just lost and you out here talking about the video. I'm like, yeah, we lost, who gives a shit? Like, so what? It happened, and you guys learned from it. So my thing is, I think that gold teams, UA Rize teams, EYCL teams, the JV side of the circuits, if you want to call it that, they need to be treated the same. If it can't be treated exactly the same, I get that, because that's not the high end, but you don't want to treat them less than either. It's not the JV circuit. It's just these teams most likely don't have the financial backing, like myself. Like, I don't have a NBA player financing my guys. I fundraise, I do different things, but I don't have people cutting checks for my club like that. Now, to be real, I do have people in my club who are rich. I do have some people that have some money, but it's not on them to pay. And when I mean rich, I mean they're millionaires. It's not on them to pay for other people's kids. And this, still, I never understood the logic of people believing that their kid should be paid for by other people. It might not be you paying, but somebody is. Why do you think your kid should have someone else pay for them? I don't know. I don't understand it, but that seems to be the thing, I guess. Nobody thinks their kids, or especially if their kids are at a high enough level, that other people should be paying for them to play basketball. I have kids, and that's just not the case. I'm not going to expect anyone to handle anything financially for my child except me. So to have that kind of fucking attitude is ridiculous to me. And I'll call you parents out on that shit every day of the week. Like, why do you think your kid deserves to be free just because they're your kid? Okay, let's make this clear. Your kid is only special to you. To the rest of the world, that's just another person. It's just another kid. So, stop with all that. That's some bullshit. That's some fuckery right there. But those teams are fight hard for their positions and for their chances to elevate and get to that level. Shout out to the guys at Compton Magic, E-Top, Justin, Dom. I think those guys handled everything professionally pretty much all the time. It's watching that level. It really is a huge gap that the kids need to know. Like, my kids, we didn't win a game out there, unfortunately. There was 2 games we could have won. 2, maybe 3 we could have won. 1, and we just didn't have it. But I think they now see the margin for error is so much smaller. I will say, at the top levels of these circuits, there's definitely questionable kids out there. I think I saw some kids that actually played a year at JC or gray-shirted at JC that were out there at that event. So I think we got to get rid of the whole 17U, 18U, all this. I think we really just need to go by ages. Just say the age. Just say the age. 17, 18, 19U, all in one thing, right? And it is what it is. If you're 17 years old and you can't play against a 19-year-old, well, I mean, you might not be ready for college. That's just the reality of it. JCs, I have great relationships with the JCs out here. There's 6 of them in my area, and I pushed a lot of my kids to go JC. Not because I don't think they're talented. It's because they need to get older. They need to get a little stronger. They need to get a little faster, get some college experience just in the atmosphere, and then be ready to go. Shout out to Coach Rob from Last Chance U. Used to coach at East LA. He's at college in JUCO in San Diego. Me and him have a really cool relationship. He was recruiting Anthony, my player slash nephew slash adopted son that passed away about over a year ago. And so I got a chance to see him at Seal Beach at Made Hoops. So we had some good conversations. But really, again, not to get too far off topic, but, the Adidas circuit is overall a great experience. I think they ran it well. They definitely had colleges there, even at the gold events. I'll say the event in Oakland, all the local schools were there that you would expect, SF State, Cal State East Bay. Funny enough, you don't see Dominican at a lot of these things, or maybe they're there and they're hiding. But Dominican University, if you're out there, man, like if you hear this, you need to get out there some more. Shout out to William Jessup. They're about to go Division II, so we'll have a Division II right down the street from my gym in Rockland. So that's really good to know. And like I said, Adidas did a phenomenal job in their event. I think all the shoe circuits do a phenomenal job in their event. I had a chance me and the director of Team Curry had a chance to kind of talk and holler at each other, and that was really cool to just kind of get his perspective, because obviously he's director of Team Curry, and Team Curry is their flagship program. So it's kind of nice to see and hear from their perspective on how it all works on his end, and he gave me some good insight. I appreciate those, because one thing I've been realizing, especially after what I've been doing, I've garnered a good amount of respect in this basketball community, and I really do appreciate those who message me, who talk to me, who support me, tell me, hey man, you're doing a great job. It's really appreciated. I don't always know if everything I'm doing is right. It's just what I think is right at the moment, and I do the best interpretation I can. That hopefully these episodes, even if you're listening, give you some insight and help you out. I had some videos that went viral, semi-viral, I guess, like I said, and it's been on my Instagram. One I did, it was a fucking joke. I can't believe how serious some people are taking. I want to say 80 to 85% of the people understand it's a joke, and it's me talking about the reclass situation. I've been kind of staying away as far as doing it as a topic, because I think we're beating a dead horse at this point. But, obviously I'm someone who's not an advocate of reclassing on the youth side. As far as high school, that's a different animal. I think high school, it is what it is. If you're a varsity player at 15, you're a varsity player at 19. It just is what it is, and you got to deal with it. But the genetic disadvantages between an 11-year-old and a 15-year-old are just so insurmountable. If you want something to parallel it, it's why they're talking about why men shouldn't be allowed in women's sports. It's bone density, it's lung capacity, heart rate, muscle density. Like, these are genetic factors that no matter how hard these women work, they're not going to be able to overcome them. So it's the same for youth. I could have a super advanced, super talented 11-year-old go against a halfway decent, mediocre 14 to 15-year-old, and that kid the 15 or 14-year-old is most likely going to win, because they just have genetic advantages that the 11-year-old just doesn't have yet. So for us to ignore it and act like this reclassing at the U side isn't a thing is ridiculous. And of course, there's coaches out there that are telling kids you should reclass, you should do this and all that. Listen, every kid has their own journey. I personally believe 1 year is good, and you only have a set amount of reasons why I think you should reclass, which again, that's just another topic for another day. But check out those videos, support if you want, hit the follow, hit the like. It's really appreciated. The Adidas, if I gave them an overall grade, got to give them like a A-, B+, A-. Again, it's just, to me, more or less how they treat the goal side and the stage. Not to say they don't treat it well, but I do think, I will say on the Rize side, they treated the UA Rize the same as the UAA. Like, there was 3 officiated crews, shot clock. However, what I will give an advantage, again, I think I said it in an episode before, but what I will give an advantage on the Adidas side is they keep stats. They keep full stats. And, I know they're using the grassroots and the passport and their algorithm to make all that happen. But honestly, they do a good job with that. And it is kind of good to know for the kids to see in real time how they're doing. I got a couple new things going on with me. I'm hoping to get a couple podcasts out in terms about that life, so please check that out. We will see, realistically, what's going to happen in the future of AAU. There's a couple things down the pipeline. Just the last tip for if you're doing high school AAU next year, as far as I know, and I could be wrong, but my sources tell me that the NCAA is shifting the live periods. So instead of doing 2 in April or 1 in April, they're taking April away, and they're going to do 1 in May. They're going to do 1 in May, 2 in July. Biggest reason in April, because transfer portal kids are allowed to go to colleges in April. So colleges aren't going to live period events because they can recruit the transfer portal kids to come to their school. And why would they go check those kids out when they can have a transfer portal kid come to their college? So they are allowed to do that in April, so that's why they're taking that live period away. Don't know which weekend they're doing in May. I personally think they should do Memorial Day weekend. That way you don't have to worry about school, and maybe you get an extra day so you can get some extra games. You could do 2 games each day from Friday to Sunday, so you can potentially get 6. Or you can do it all the way until Monday. You could do a 1-2-2-1, and Monday people can use that day to travel back, right? Because Memorial Day usually falls on that. So that's overall the news for AAU I can give you guys and things like that. Other than, the biggest thing, again, if you're looking to aspire to go on a shoe circuit, you have to get some high-level guys, get them to buy in, keep them gravitating towards what you're doing, and really retain those guys and progress forward through that. And with that, we're coming to an end. Thanks for checking it out. Appreciate you guys if you stayed all the way through. If you made it to the end, again, think about it. Hit that like, subscribe, help me out with the algorithm. Do the HBL special, help a brother out. The biggest thing I can keep giving you guys tips on is keep working hard on making your teams grow and elevate to the status that you want. I've been getting DM'd quite a bit, and it's really appreciated of people just saying, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? I'll give you the best advice I can than what's worked for me. I believe it's opened more doors than closed. And you have to accept the fact kids just aren't going to be loyal. They're going to go where they think is best, and you have to roll with the punches with that. But you do have that small group of kids that will rock with you because they truly believe in you and see the progression that you're doing, not only for them as a player, but setting them up to go into college. With that being said, I hope everybody's day is good. I hope you're living it up. I hope you're staying cool in this heat. And I'm out. Peace.